guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Tom. I'm a teaching professional at Norwood Park Golf Centre and I'm going to be giving you some tips for your golf game. This is going to be episode 1 in a new series that I'm going to be releasing called Back-to-Basics. Now I'm going to be going through some key fundamentals that will give beginners a really good starting point in their golf game. Not only that, but even us golfers who've been playing for years often need reminding of those fundamentals just to tighten things up. So today we're going to be looking at grip. I'm going to give you the 3 things that I look for in a good grip. I'm then going to change those 3 things. We've got TrackMan on and we're going to see how those changes influence our ball flight. Now there's 3 things that I think are particularly important when looking at someone's grip. One is positioning of the hands, the second is the pressure applied, and the third is the style of grip that they adopt. I'm going to go through all 3 of those, give you an explanation as to how you can make your grip better, and hopefully I will show you and demonstrate how that is then going to influence your shots on the golf course. So first of all is style. So you'll see that many players on tour adopt a slightly different grip style. Now some will have a 10-finger grip, what we call 10-finger grip, so all 10 fingers on the golf club. Others will go for maybe an overlapping grip, so where they'll put the right little finger over the top of their left index finger or just underneath it. And the third is an interlocking grip, where we interlock the left index finger and the right little finger, and they just lock together like so. Neither is right nor wrong, it's more a personal preference, so I'd encourage you to try all 3 out and see what works for you. The most important thing with this is comfort. You have to feel comfortable going for this style of grip. But for those of you who are starting out, you'll probably find that the 10-finger grip is probably more comfortable, and I certainly wouldn't discourage someone from going with a 10-finger grip to begin with. Now personally, I like to interlock, so I will interlock my index finger and little finger together. I personally just feel like that gives me the most stable hold on the club. The second is pressure. So pressure, this gets talked about a lot in golf. How much pressure should you put on the club? It's a difficult thing to describe. I often hear things like gripping a bottle of toothpaste or a small bird. I think as long as you're not over gripping to the point where you're strangling the club, I think it's good to have a nice firm hold on the club. I certainly wouldn't encourage someone to have a real loose, unstable grip, but just a nice firm grip is ideal for you to get enough power from your golf swing but not affect your release too much as well. Now the third and final point on grip is positioning. Now arguably this is probably the most important part of your grip, because this really dictates what your club face is doing. But for those of you out there who are just starting, I would certainly encourage you to get a neutral hold on the club to begin with. Those of you who've already been playing, if you're hitting straight shots, I wouldn't worry too much about your grip. It's going to play a big influence on the ball flight. But for someone just starting, I certainly would recommend getting into a neutral grip. And if you hang your hands naturally and just relax, you'll see that my hands aren't turned in or outwards. They're facing kind of 45 degrees. My thumb's going this way, 45 degrees. If you look particularly on my left hand, you can probably see 2 knuckles, maybe just about see the third. For me, that's a neutral position. I feel comfortable in this spot. So when I'm gripping the golf club, it's really important that I maintain that neutral grip. So the last thing I would want is the hand underneath and you seeing no knuckles on that side. If you can see 2 knuckles when I'm in a nice neutral posture, then you should be able to see 2 knuckles when I'm gripping the golf club on that left hand as well. Now this is one that certainly applies to golfers no matter how long you've played for, and beginners, because I see this, even in low handicap golfers, I see an incorrect placement of the grip within their hands. So if you get that grip running too much through your palm, you're going to really struggle to hinge and create power. So we want a grip that goes more through the fingers than the palm. So I often use the reference point of the first little notch in your index finger. If you run the grip from there through to the bottom, the base of your little finger, then you'll get the grip running nicely through your fingers. You should feel like it's going to be hard work for someone to pull that golf club out your hand. I often try this with students, as I'll get them to grip it with their palms and I'll hold the other end of the club, pull it, and it'll come straight out. I then say, right, grip no tighter, but grip through your fingers. Lo and behold, I can't budge that club. Now obviously it's quite difficult to see when someone is gripping in the palm or in their fingers, but a telltale sign is often the wear on your glove. If you're someone who gets a little bit of wear in the palm of their glove and might even put a hole in it, if it is strong, then you are more likely to be someone who grips through the palm rather than through their fingers. So if you get that wear patch, definitely take a look at your grip. Are you gripping in your fingers or are you gripping through your palm? So I'm going to put the club down, I'm going to get my left hand under, going to get that first little notch on my index finger on the grip, and I'm going to run it through to the base of my little finger. See, already as soon as I wrap it round, you're able to see those two knuckles again on the golf club. It tells me I'm in a nice neutral spot. I'm then going to get the right hand on. Now the right hand, I don't want to kind of grip too hard with the right hand. I like to feel like the right hand's going to almost be there for the ride. So I get that right hand on, and it creates a little V between your thumb and forefinger here. So your index finger and your thumb just going to create this little V, and as long as that V's pointing up somewhere between your chin and that right shoulder, then you're going to be in a fairly neutral spot as well. We don't want to feel like the right hand's on the side of the club or underneath. We want to feel like it's kind of just placed nicely on top, creating that V up to your chin or shoulder. Now, just to show you the influence that grip has on your ability to control the club face, I'm going to hook TrackMan up, we're going to have a look at some shots, I'm going to experiment putting the grip into a stronger position, a neutral position and a weak position, and hopefully you guys will be able to see how that affects the ball flight on your golf shots. It has a huge influence on where that ball starts. So first of all, I'm just going to go in with my neutral grip, which is about 2 knuckles showing on my left hand. That V pointing somewhere in between my chin and my right shoulder. So face angle 1.2 left, so minus, anything in a minus is face pointing left of target. Pulled that a little bit, 16.3 feet left, so not too bad with a 7-iron. Now if I experiment and start going the other way, so if I go to a weaker grip, so if I only show kind of 1 knuckle on that left hand, let's see how that influences my club face. Going to swing exactly the same, still 7-iron, same target, see how that affects my ability to square the face. So this time face angle was 5.1 degrees right, starting direction was 4.6 degrees right, and that was nearly 64 feet right of target, just from less knuckles, so moving slightly weaker in my left hand. If I now go the other way, let's show 3 knuckles on this left hand, so really kind of extreme strong grip. I would expect the club face to be presented much more closed now because it's making me release the club a lot more, but let's see. Strike that one great, but there we go. So face angle 4.5 left, launch direction 3.8, 82 feet left. Okay, so you can see the impact that just moving that left hand alone is having on that club face. Massive difference in dispersion. Now, one thing I would massively encourage you guys to do if you are struggling with your dispersion, so if you've got a common miss, you either pull it or you push it, then experiment with moving the positions of your hands on the grip. If you're someone that pulls it a lot, you're hitting the ball left of target for a right-hander, then why not weaken that left hand off a touch? So show less knuckles on it. Equally, you could do the same with the right hand. So with the right hand, to go weaker, we'd move it more this way. But very slight differences in the position of your grip make a huge difference to the ball flight, okay? So making a tiny change down here can make a huge difference out there. So be careful, don't go too much to the extreme. I've seen some guys want to say, okay, let's weaken it off a touch, and they move it, you know, an inch over, and then they're 40 yards further right than they were before. But that's why I would really encourage you guys to experiment and try it. Have a go on the range, go in with a weaker grip, slightly stronger. Try it in the left hand, try it in the right hand. But the important thing is you find what works for you. There's no textbook grip, okay? There's nothing that you should, there's no Bible that says this is how you should grip a golf club. There's certain fundamentals that will improve your game without a doubt, but you've got to find what works for you and that feels comfortable and will improve your golf game. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please do smash that like button. If you want to see more golf related content, then do give me a subscribe, really helps. And I'll post the social media links below if you want to follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, then just use the handle below. Thanks for watching, guys.